Storytelling Ron. Hey, I'm here to do DM prep for Curse of Strahd. Okay, so this is Curse of Strahd, and how a DM, or how I, as a DM, prep for a campaign. I'm going to be starting up this campaign soon. I am making minis. I'll show you a couple that I've started on. I'm going to do a lot of minis, vampires, werewolves. I will do some maps and stuff for it. I'm also going to do, I guess, somewhat depth PDF here of notes. But I know there's a lot out there already. There's a ton out there already of DMs and add-ons and stuff. And I'm kind of purposely avoiding those, even though I read one that was really great on Elven Tower, or it had some really great extra little info in there. But I stopped, and I may use the part that I read about the curses, but I stopped because I wanted to just sort of experimentally do this and YouTube it to show like how you can just prep for yourself. You already spent enough on one material, might as well work with that one material as opposed to adding a bunch of extra stuff. Great stuff. I'm not, but I'm trying to just stay focused on just this one book and just work with that, because this is a lot already. Let's do this. This is a lot, and there's plenty in here to do without having to add to it, or I'm trying. I don't think I'm going to add much. I mean, I might add some fun stuff. I'll show you here in a second, but nothing. So, and I know that the new Rick Von Richten book is coming out, which I'm going to get, but I don't think. I mean, I'll look through it, but this is plenty. I've got plenty here to do, without having to add more to it. And it's a lot. And also, like Storm King's Thunder, Princes of the Apocalypse, and even Out of the Abyss that I've looked at, I've changed quite a bit. Ride the Frostmaiden. In Ride the Frostmaiden, I made it more intense. Really, that's really the only thing I feel like I changed. I mean, I moved things around, but kept it as is. Storm King's Thunder, I changed quite a bit, took out a lot. And in Princes of the Apocalypse. But this one, like I said, I'm not changing much in this one. I think I'm going to kind of keep it as close as I can to it, but with my flavor. Anyway, so let me just show you how I prep. So this is obviously InDesign, and I love using InDesign. So obviously, in the first video, I kind of broke down the factions, and I'm still trying to figure out. I kind of know pretty much, but who's with who, as far as with Strahd or against Strahd or neutral. Another interesting thing, the Vistani with the magic items, they can only get magic items from table B, which is like basically potions and minor things. So that's cool, and I'll probably make my own list at some point or use theirs, which is fine. Magic items from table B are very simple, so I like that. I don't like the more complicated ones. The Witch Coven layers, there's obviously one in Ravenloft and then we meet another group of 3 in the Amber Temple, or the Ancient Temple rather. Or Ancient Amber, I don't know, whatever. Ancient Temple, but and that's it. And then of course random. So I kind of want to add maybe a few more covens around, weak ones or whatever. Maybe they're part of the cults that are in Valaki with the Lady Fiona Wachter in the cult. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I can tie in all the different cults with the coven just for the fun of it. I don't necessarily need to, but and then also the 3 Vineyard Gems, which are interesting because they're in the they were in the I don't have the Wizards I don't have that one in here. Wizard of Wine. Let me write that down real quick just to remind myself, and I'll flesh that one out. Wizards of Winery or Winery Wizards, whatever. I'll figure that out. And they're obviously good, but that's where the gems are, or were. Now, Baba Lysaga has one. Baba Lysaga has one. And the Druids have, and she's using it for her cabin tree, whatever. And the Druids have one for summoning a tree. And then, of course, they're attacking the winery to get the 3rd one. So that's how that... And remember, Baba and the Druids are in allegiance. So I should write that down just to remind myself. Allegiance to attack where ravens and winery. So she was the one that persuaded them to go do it. So that's interesting. Okay, so So there's that, and I'm really kind of excited about drawing out werewolves. I want to draw a bunch of different werewolves, vampire spawns. These will be fun. Also, what I'm going to plan on doing too, I'm going to add feats and interesting little skills to each werewolf. And even Rock. I don't forgot the guy's name, but Strahd's butler, basically, he's a powerful dude. He doesn't have any extra skills. He's just like a warrior, and he doesn't have any of the second wind or any of that. So I'm going to definitely add that kind of stuff to him as well. To make that more tough. So the enemies are the ones that are, and I've mentioned this already, a list, the ones that you get through the tarot reading. You find a one to help. And also, I just saw this in Reddit, but someone asked about Arabelle, like that was the one chosen for the little girl that's about to be drowned in the lake, and she's a Vistani, one of the gypsies, and they if the party should be able to rescue her, and if they do, she's the ally. So she's just a little girl that's supposed to be like a pre-Madame Ava tarot reader. So, how do you make that? Well, you can add things to her to give her little kind of interesting powers, like divination. She can help them, warn them of stuff, or she can give them an inspiration, like encouragement. Because she talks like an adult. So, when you have a little girl and you're trying to help and defend, they can give you that little speech. So you got to make these characters really interesting that help. Like even the loser guy, Donovich the priest, his son, at the very beginning, his son becomes a vampire spawn and he's like totally hopeless. But if he becomes their hero, he's give him things to help them. I can see him having a holy symbol that really pauses vampires or something. And he finds renewed faith and strength, and so you can look at the cleric stuff and kind of pick and choose a couple of the powers in there that maybe he can use. So make it interesting and fun. Whoever you have, good or bad, give them little feats and character skills. I mean, obviously you can use anything. Just keep it balanced and think small and then big. So I am going to do stuff like that. Now here's something I did to help me. Let me move my face. Maybe I should make my face smaller. Let me make my face smaller. Just so we can kind of see everything here. Okay. So I grabbed this map off the internet. It doesn't have plates. I grabbed this map off the internet. It doesn't have the roads because I got a little confused with the roads there. So I took that all out, and then I placed in all the locations with their names. So I'm more it just gives me a familiarity with everything. And then I put in the yellow is like what minions or groups are kind of in what areas. Not that I'm not going to restrict them to that, but the one that I thought Werewolf Den is up here. I thought that was a weird place. I kind of wanted to put it down like maybe here in the middle where the berserkers are, but I'm probably going to leave them where they are. But it's just kind of, as you start to see things where they are, you start to wonder yourself about, as a DM, where you want things and how you can see the flow of the story going. One thing I really want to do somehow is either redraw this map or something, but I really want to get as you can see, it's really hard with this top-down view, but these are mountainous regions with, those scary roads right along the cliffside, and there's a little thin road, it's that kind of meant to be that kind of experience. And, in these sort of mountainous areas here around Ravenloft, and I want to draw that out so that they experience that and make it a map, literally a map they got to travel on. I want to, so that's definitely one kind of map I want to do. I should probably write some notes down. Oh, I do have assets I plan on doing. So let me just put that in my notes here. That's down here. Where is it? I don't mean to show you this all yet, but I got to write this down. So let me write this down. Maps. Oh, by the way, the music that you hear, which I don't hear, but I'll post in later, is the type of music I'm going to be using in the game. Like there's one called Tales of Woe, which is sort of a theme of the people talking about their troubles. So that's one. Another one is just sort of an ambiance, like a traveling ambiance. The first one, the second one, I don't know which order I'm putting everything in. But another one I have is like We Are Being Hunted. That's a cool title. We Are Being Hunted. That's going to be one of the scores I'm doing. And another score is He Is Near. So I do those like usually around 12 minutes worth, and they're very, they're not songs, they're very the sound flow, the flow of the sound is kind of what I do, because that's what you need for role playing. So that's what I'm working on, and those are I really love this, just the nice flow of these. They're, anyway, this is something else I'm doing. Mountainous path, mountainous cliff side. I really want to draw this type of map. Mountainous cliffside path battle map. I'll probably do 1 or 2 of these, because it just feels like, oh yeah, you gotta have a battle on those cliffside mountains, man. That's gonna be scary. Oh, I know there's some other, I just remember this too, swarms. I want to make some draw out some swarms of bats, rats. What else? Bats, rats. Oh, ravens. Definitely need those. Yeah. Okay. So let me go back to the other page. Let me fit this on, because I think I need to show everything. Did you even see? Okay, whatever. All right. So this is, me breaking down everything. Let me. Okay. So these are the bridges. I really want the bridges. To me, the bridges is where I'm going to have my own, I guess, fun. The first one, I really love the way they describe that one, because it's there's a gallows there, a hanging gallows with some empty graves or whatever. I'll probably do a nice low-level zombie attack there. But I love how when they look back and they see the gallows is empty. There's no one hanging. But when they look back before they leave, they look back and see one person hanging. They're like, "What? That wasn't there before." And it's, and one of the characters randomly, it's that character, so that's kind of cool. And then the others are like, no, it just looks like some other adventurer. I probably will have other adventurer that's dead hanging there. So having it look like one of them is going to be creepy. So that's cool. I like that one. Then the other ones, there's not much about them. So I'm going to add my own little interesting. Every bridge is going to be, oh no, like when they get to that, something's going to happen. I'm going to make that happen, whether good or bad. The Selenko Pass one, which is kind of high level, it's got the rocks, the demons, and then a rock. And then a rock. I don't really like that one, the way that's what you encounter, so I'm going to change that. Something to do with the Amber Temple here, the ancient, some ancient evil I'm going to do with that bridge, but I'll figure that out later. But I definitely, just let you know, that's kind of like my thoughts here. The Lunar River Crossroads, I'm definitely going to have a vision of the Arabella in the boat with the guy that's going to sacrifice her, the little girl, because I want to lure them to the lake, but there's got to be like some kind of vision there at that bridge, so that's going to be creepy. I'm definitely going to draw out these let me write that down. I'm going to draw out definitely a bridge map, whether probably a generic one to use on all of them, or maybe I'll probably draw a generic map and then maybe different terrains. I don't know, we'll see. Bridge pass maps. Okay. So I really just love drawing, so I'm going to do it. I spend the time doing it. So I'll be posting this on my site. If you want to be a patron, I will be posting all this stuff on my site when I get this stuff more fleshed out, and the minis as well. Okay, so that's the passes, and I still haven't fleshed out all the notes, but I'm just getting familiarized, and that's what I'm saying to you. Like, okay, here's a confession. So I do read these books, and I read them kind of this way, back and forth. I don't really read it in order. I just kind of go through wherever I want. But obviously, I'm so busy every day. When do I have time to read? Yep, there's only 2 places I generally read at this point for stuff like this. On my throne, I read this, and then right before I go to bed, usually I'll read a little bit. That's it. That's the only times I really get a chance to read. Plus, I'm sitting here doing stuff. But, and then that's kind of get it done, and it's daily. So that's where I read to my D&D materials. Okay, so there's that. And again, I haven't, I still got thoughts about all the other stuff. I might want to take little notes on it all. Now here, so obviously they're going to start off, the mist, and then getting to the village of Barovia, and then now this is where I need to really flesh out my, some stuff. So obviously I've written down my own little notes of each of these areas that are in the book. And again, I don't read the material. I will generally get a couple of notes done and when I type down things, I remember it better than reading it. So I have to type down something, and that's kind of like my suggestion to you is to type, prep and type out your thing, so that you just remember it better. But so I have the notes for the different locations that are already noted. But if you look at this map, you can really come up with interesting things. Like, for instance, this area looks like maybe the more nobles. These homes over here. I don't know if you can see my. This might be better. This looks like maybe it might be the richer area. Obviously, the Burgermeister is here. This is obviously poorer down here. This looks like this is like the workers. Like, this looks like a cart wagon area where they make maybe the barrels and a cooper and cartwright and all that kind of stuff. And then this looks like he could be like a boss, farmer boss, like, or lumber or whatever. And right in here looks like a bunch of blacksmiths or something. You know what I mean? It could be that kind of a thing. I'm just saying, just looking at it right now. And then, of course, the church. Whether or not I play that out, I don't know. Though this has like a steeple. This could be obviously E2 is the only merchant in town, which is kind of strange. But there's that. I don't know. There's no other merchants, so you have to limit it maybe to just crafters. Looks like there's something going on here. Little things here that looks interesting. And then the old death house I know is put here somewhere. I might have to put it over here because this looks like the nobles. So like this one right here, or this one, looks kind of like the death house to me. Yeah, but how do I lure the people? Maybe I'll make them come this way or something. I don't know. But I definitely going to lure them to that house first. I'm going to do the death house first before they go. Because once they go in here, they're going to start doing story. Story is going to kick up really fast. Especially with Ismar, and Irina. So I'm going to have them do the death house first, whatever house they go to. These minis here don't have anything to do with this right yet because I haven't really fleshed this out yet. But I got this map. I just did a screen grab of the Roll20, and oops, grab that one. And I left the little tokens on just so I could see where everything is. And I haven't done my notes yet, but I just want to let you know where I'm at. I'm prepping this one right now, and I just screen grabbed Roll20, and I'm going to replace all of these with my own tokens. I'm going to draw my own out. I'm going to use their maps though because I can't draw everything out. And these maps are fine. These are even with my type of tokens, which I use the, Oh, let me show you this real quick. I use these kind of tokens. This is the characters. So these are just my, I'm a doodler. But these are the main characters. 2 paladins, an Azamar paladin, and a Tiefling paladin, and half-orc bard, and a drow rogue. So we'll see how that goes. I'm definitely going to play off of the dichotomy here. Oh, can't see. Darn it. I'm going to play off the dichotomy here of these two. So should be fun. And this is the kind of tokens they use. And they still work with this fine. With the top-down view. So it totally looks fine to me. Okay, so the last thing I want to say for this video is that this death house is there's a lot of boring. Like, there's not much going on here. Not much going on here. So when they go looking around, I'm going to swiftly go through it so that they're not too bored. So the pacing picks up a little. And obviously there's a secret door, and I need to figure out a way to lead them there to that door. So I'm going to make that very easy because there's stuff in there that's kind of story relevant. And like I said, this whole area, there's nothing going on there, so I have to really get them moving. That's one important thing. And it's not until they get to the 3rd floor that suddenly there's a bit of combat. So, just be aware of that. This is the nanny. So that'll be interesting. Animate armor. Broom. I don't know if I'll do the broom. It's too minor. Definitely this will be cool with the ghost children, and then them giving the clue about the secret door that then leads down to here. Anyway, that's it for now. Yeah, I don't really have much. I haven't really done, Oh, one other thing. I'm going to I'm going to change the Shambling Mound. I think the Shambling Mound is not... I think it should be something more undead or decrepit, rotted, like blackish. Black. I'm going to do some sort of... it's going to have the similar stats to the Shambling Mound. I'm just going to change it visually to something more dark and like a... Oh, what I think I'm going to do is a bunch of rotted, dead bodies combined to be a mound. And then they, their hands are and legs and their head, kind of like a gibbering mouth, but more of a rotted dead thing with just dead bodies that are all sort of zombied together, like their sacrifices. But a lot of rottenness to it, so it's all broken up and dripping and oozing and fetid and foul. So I'm gonna do something like that, but at low level, not super high level, so they can deal with it. And definitely gonna work. This terrain is gonna be difficult. I'm also gonna work on some chants. Oh yeah, I'm gonna do some audio here. He is the Ancient One. He is the land. One must die. One must die. Do those. And then, Lorgahoth the Decayer, we awaken thee. Lorgahoth the Decayer, we awaken thee. So I'm going to do those 3 audios. Those are really important to scare them, creep them out. I should put the audio here. That's really important. And I'm definitely working on some audio stuff. My chair's squeaky. I'm so big and heavy. Anyway, okay, so that's it for this video. I just want to let you know, how I, as a DM, start prepping things and working on the audio, working on the minis, thinking about some maps to do, drawing their characters, and just having fun. I mean, that's what we DMs do, and you obviously don't have to do this much work at all. You can just run the... Strahd is a pretty decently straight through campaign that you don't even need all this if you just want to read the book and then play it like that. So, but this is my style. This is the way I like to do it. All right. Hope this was helpful and just extra little tidbits for you. All right. Thanks for watching.